Hi Facebookers, Nikki from Gracie's house here, and Instagram. We are live on both, looking like it looks like. I'm waiting to just see if we get anybody come on. I'm a bit, Instagram, I have people, hello, I'm here, honest. Waiting to see if anyone comes on Facebook. I'm a bit flustered. I'm not gonna lie, my tripod and everything literally fell over at 2 minutes ago. All the diffusers come off my light. It's just a mess. So the lighting for Instagram and maybe for Facebook, anyway, it's a mess. It turned into a complete mess. So Bob, hello. I'm smiling on the outside, but literally there was a lot of swear words a couple of minutes ago. So anyone that watches me on Facebook, I'm going to go back, rewind. See, that's how flustered I am. I'm Nikki, I'm from Gracie's house. And I'm a brand ambassador for Redesign with Prima. Barb, honestly, I can't even tell you. It's been there for half an hour. It's been set up for half an hour, it's been fine. I went to do something, I didn't touch it, I didn't knock it, and it just fell over and all the diffusers fell out. So they're not back in yet. It's just gonna be one of those days, I can tell. So, I'm based in the UK, so it's 4 o'clock for me, and I think a lot of you that watch, it's probably, what does that make it, 11 o'clock for you guys. I worked on this chest of drawers last week on my paint couture live, so I'm going to zoom you down on Facebook. Instagram you can already see. So that's the best camera angle I can get you at today. You can see most of it, can you see? I'm just going to pick you up a little bit there. So we worked with paint couture, obviously, so I'll just do a quick rundown of my background. Tiny little slither of angelic that you might see behind there, which is the creamy colour. Hi Tonya, and we've got some Vera at the ballet, which is the pale pink that's through. Linear is the sort of greyish blue. And then, oh my goodness, what's this one called? Pink Freud. So this is one of Cece's new colours. So it's very similar, but it's got a more peachy sort of tone. And then I did a couple of flashes of Caribbean coral. And I picked this colour palette because of the colour palette in the transfer that we're going to use. See, it even sent my tube flying when everything fell over, which is Life in Full Bloom. There we go. Folks on Instagram as well, there we go. This, I'll be honest, this one sits closest to the window on my storage shelves. So the colours don't look great because this is all faded in the sunlight. In the daylight through the summer. So we're going to get cracking. I have added some moulds here as well. Can you see those? You can. Let me just tilt you down a little bit more. Can you see these moulds that I've added here? Oh, that's the tripod leg. There we go, you see? So let me just talk you through what I've done for those. I've got more to add. I just wanted something on there to represent the way my head's going. So we have this one here, which is called Greco. So I haven't used these straight pieces, I've used this scroll, and I'm going to make some of these small ones, but I ran out of air dry clay and resin, so my resin order's just arrived. I've used this one here. Hi Marissa, this one here, which is Sorrento Laurels. I have got a piece of Glorious Garland. Yeah, I write all my names on the backs of these so that I don't have to remember them. This one here is the piece in the middle, if you can see that one. No, I'll go around. And then I've got a toss-up for keyholes. So I've done one of these, but I've also got another keyhole from the one that's just called Keyholes, I think. So maybe you guys can help me decide. What do you think? Can you help me decide on the keyhole that I'm going to use? Let me show you. So all of these have been precast. That's the one keyhole from that one I've just showed you, which is, oh, I'm going to say Tulum keyholes. That one there. These ones are all made of air dried clay. This one I'd had sat in my box of pre-mades for a while. What do you think? Which one do you think we should go for? So that's that little cutie pie there. Drop me some comments and tell me which one you think will look better, but maybe we'll decide once we've got the transfers on. So I'm going to leave them over there. Let us crack on. So as always, I have my tools with me. You can see this top part, can't you? Yeah, you can see that top part. Yeah, cool. So this is the one that comes in your transfer tube. Every one of these has one of these inside. These are really, really good. It's just a thick popsicle stick kind of situation. And then you can also get these handy dandy transfer tools from your Redesign with Prima retailers. They've got slightly thinner, some of the transfer tools are quite thick. The wooden ones, the popsicle sticks, this is great for getting into recessed areas, I find. And, you know, like around the grooves and corners of drawers and things. Let's start on this piece here. But I tend to have both those tools with me whenever I get a transfer out, and I just interchange between the two. So we're just taking that backing sheet off. I have pre-cut these ones. I'm going to line this one up with the top edge of my top drawer. So this I've done today, I've laid it on its back for two reasons. One was that I had to glue these on and I haven't got enough things. They were still a little bit soft when I spray painted them. So I wanted to glue them without having to clamp them all. So that's on its back. But also, I always say this, the easiest way to apply a transfer is to pop your piece on its back. Simply because you're not then having to, you know, I've got tape there because I was positioning things, but you're not then having to work against gravity. You're not having to tape it and worry that the tape might slip or anything. We have the bottom drawer edge and we have the top drawer edge of the next drawer. I'm just going to take a craft knife or an X-Acto knife or a box cutter or whatever is your choice. I don't tend to use scissors because they're just a bit thicker. But if you're happy to use scissors, so I'm just slicing through that. I'm going to do the same there, using the drawer as my guide. There's nothing complicated with getting this transfer onto these drawers. Now I've got a little piece here that I've trimmed that goes, the print line goes right up to the edge of the cut line. I haven't got any top sheet, but you can do it just as easy with that bottom sheet that we've just taken away. Just so that I don't have to worry about scraping my paintwork when I want to get that edge good and burnished down. So there's such pretty colours in this transfer. I am going to keep my eye on comments, but Instagram, you're upside down almost, so I'll do my best. But yeah, the colour, the idea was, you know, we're seeing this time of year, I picked the colours out of the transfer, but I felt like at this time of year we're really seeing, you know, sunrises and sunsets, but they're not quite so intense. They're these really subtle tones and corals, and obviously we're getting the grey through because you've got light cloud more so. So that was my thinking with how we painted, and I wanted it to be, I didn't want it to be like a really uniform blend. I went for a very randomly applied sort of streaks of essentially sunlight because we're kind of emulating a sunrise. I just thought it would be a nice background for this nice floral transfer. So how is everybody? How's everybody's week been? Just checking on everything. So we're just doing our normal, we're just moving away. But you see how easy it was just to divide those lines, to divide between the drawers, the seams, should we say. You can measure and cut if you feel happier to do that. There's no right, wrong way. It will take you a little bit longer to do that. So it's just about how you feel comfortable. This is my first time using this transfer, and I feel like I've said that on a few occasions lately. There's so many to try, isn't there? It's and I think if you get a favourite and then you stick with that. So I'm trying to, but I have had this, I've wanted to use this one for ages. And I couldn't decide on what base colour to use. And maybe this is why I've gone for all of the colours. What do you think? So I'm just getting see the thinner side of the transfer tool. I'm just squeezing that in to the gap here, where it's just to fold it round and wrap it underneath. And as you lift your top sheet, keep on rubbing, just in case there's any pieces you might have missed. It just lessens the chance of you lifting up and it folding up under itself or ripping. And I'll show you the drawer handles that are on this. This has got really, I do love to use the original vintage hardware if possible. I get very upset if one's broken or missing. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I do love the old, they just got it right, didn't they, with hardware. Back in the days, they got hardware damn right. Erin, hello my dear, how are you? So, has anyone used this transfer before? If so, what colour have you used it on? I'd be really interested to know. I've seen quite a lot of sort of farmhouse style creamy colours, vanilla-y sort of colours, I think. And it does look beautiful. But sometimes it's nice for us to be able to show you an alternative base colour to what we see normally. There we go. There's our first piece done. And I'm going to grab myself a cloth. So I use these microfiber cloths to burnish. I tend to anyway, this kind of thing. Loving all the pinks. I know, it is good as well. Do you know what? You're probably right. I probably was subconsciously thinking about a pink piece, but not wanting to, because I did a commission table in pink. I don't know if anyone's seen that, with the overflowing love, which is so pretty. And yeah, maybe subconsciously I was thinking I wanted to go with the pinks because of that. You could be right there. So we burnish after we've taken the top coat off, just to make sure that all of the edges, so when people talk about the halo, they're talking about that glue line that you can see outside the print area. And that's the adhesive. So it is quite important. And if you burnish, it practically disappears. And certainly on a lighter colour like this, you can hardly see it. And then once you top coat, you will literally, it'll be so minimal, you won't even be able to see it really. Darker colours, you have to work a little harder. And that just is what it is. But again, as soon as you top coat, they become very minimal. So I'm just going to do this piece through the middle here, the middle of our drawers. Is there a word for that? Is there a word for this piece of wood that goes in between drawers? I have no idea. Anybody out there? Anybody make furniture or know that there's a word for it? So that's gone on nicely. And I always think it really helps if you just treat all these sections as just separate pieces of transfer. And that's the other reason I cut them, so I'm not having to work on. You could rub all of that all on together and then cut through, but I just think it makes it easier and breaks it up into chunks. You know, when people talk about like time management and you know, breaking your to-do list down into workable chunks. It's the same principle. This has got such pretty little extra greenery tucked in to the arrangement. Over here for these little leaf tips. I think you might not quite see what I'm doing there on Facebook because of the angle I had to. Anyone that joined in late, I had a bit of a, literally 2 minutes before I was due to go live, my whole tripod fell over. Even though it had been sat there for a good 20 minutes to half an hour with no issues whatsoever, it decided just to fall over and everything fell off. My iPad flew out. It was not a happy moment. But we're good. I was temporarily flustered, but we're good, we're back. So I'm just doing that burnishing again. Just pressing down everywhere. You might not want to rub, or if you do rub in the kind of direction away from the edge, if possible, if that makes sense. So that's cute. So the Life in Full Bloom comes in 3 sections, and Donna, it is a really pretty transfer. This one comes in the 3 pieces. So if you can see, I've used the top piece, and essentially it's the top piece because of the way these flowers droop down. I've used the top piece down here and then the bottom piece at the top because it wasn't a big enough set of drawers for me to use the middle section. So you've got to, some of them you've got to think about how your how the sections will work, and I always talk about the direction the flowers face and things. It's a bit of an OCD issue for me, I think. I should probably give it up a bit, but I don't. So this sort of feels like quite a big piece we're doing next, but I am going to be breaking it up the same way. Now this piece, I am going to add on some from the middle section to come and meet these moulds. So I'm going to put that bit to there so I can follow that nice straight line. And just rub that down. Okay, and I'm going to get my knife again, and I'm going to run that all the way along, exactly the same as we did, oops, for that other piece. I think I'll go through there, there we go. And another drawer section here, and then the top drawer as well. Okay. Fancy, you're just popping on. What you doing? What you doing? So we've got Life in Full Bloom. Anyone that's just joining on like Fancy is now. And this is the chest of drawers I painted last week during my Paint Draw Live. So those of you that were really interested to see where I was going with it, this is where I was going with it. And it had a piece of trim. It was quite mid-century. It had a piece of trim that was a bit more flat, and then I don't know, it had carvings, but there was a big chunk missing. So I had to take it all off because it wasn't the kind that I would be able to reproduce. Wow, do you know what? I possibly could have reproduced it. It might have taken me a long time. So I decided to remove it, and that this would have been a perfect candidate for some moulds. And because this has got this kind of nice flourishy script, I thought some scrollies, and we've got the Sorrento, is that what's that one? What did I say that one was called? Sorrento Laurels, yes. So that's got a couple of kind of tassel-y designs on it. And at some point, the legs have been, that one was built up, that one was missing, so I had to find a piece of extra wood to make it the same width. Where these pieces just sort of get mashed together, or, you know, things get changed and amended at different times in their lives. Just gonna seen it. I haven't seen Prima come on today, Roz. I don't know if you're there or not, or whether I've missed your comments. It's entirely possible. But whoever's there from Prima, if someone's there, hello. So just going over all those little extra flower sprigs. Okay. And that text has gone on really nicely. So there's a little bit to wrap around where I've cut it, which will be easier if once I take the drawers out, which I obviously can't do right at this minute. Let's go. This I think is supposed to be some kind of cow parsley. I don't know if you can have that or what you call it in the US. That's what I think, that's the type of flower it's supposed to be. It's not a very autumnal bouquet, this one. Tulips and things. Maybe it's wishful thinking now that autumn is well and truly here. Someone's just said they love the transfer tool. Yes, it's really handy, isn't it? Kim, sorry, I couldn't see your name. Oh, hi, Roz, you were driving. No worries. I just, I didn't know if I just missed a comment or... And I didn't want you to think I was being rude and not said hello. If anyone happens to be watching on Facebook and you're watching on Gracie's house page, just always a little friendly reminder that I cross post onto Gracie's house page, so I can't see any comments that you might be putting over there. If you want me to answer in real time, you're better off popping back over to the Redesign with Prima page and viewing there, because I can read those comments. But I'm not ignoring you. I'm not being rude. So there's even some little sort of heathery, lavendery bits. There's hydrangea here. Not sure what that one is. These look like thistles, but pinky ones. I want to say scabiosa for that, but which also sounds like something from Harry Potter. But I think it's too big to be one of those in relation to anything else. So I'm just making sure that those edge pieces are stuck right down before I lift my top sheet. Missed a couple of bits there. There we go. No idea what that is. If anyone knows what this piece is here. because this is an oak piece, there's quite a lot of texture to the, although the paint's got a lovely smooth finish, I don't fill in my grain on oak. You know, at the end of the day, just because I'm painting my wooden furniture doesn't mean I don't want it to look like it's wood. So I don't do any of the grain filling or anything. And so there is some texture to the finish from the grain. Oh, it's so noisy, isn't it? That top sheet. Just getting rid of that bit there. So wrapping it around the bottom of my drawer. And then we're nearly done on this bigger piece. Okay, I'm really pleased how it's looking against these sunset colours. Yeah, and I didn't, you know, it's just, that's how it came. I've not moved where the text fits. It just lent itself well to how I was feeling the layout was going to be. But I'm really pleased how it looks against the paint, because it kind of looks like you are looking through the flowers and seeing that sunset behind. The plan went well, and the colours just sit back nicely against the colours that are in the transfer. I always tell anyone that watches me over on Paint Couture, there tends to be a paint job then followed by the transfers, and there's always a plan. And sometimes I think they think I might be a little bit mad. Because actually, how cool would this look, this transfer over guac and roll? I think that would look pretty special. So I've just got that bit to wrap down there. That bit there. That bit there. So I'm just using my transfer tool to get those bits wrapped around where that drawer fits. Okay, and then I'm going to get out, because you see I have this gap here. Oh, we're going. Kim, pretty, love the colours. Never the thought to do them. Thank you. So you can see we have this gap. Now, I have got some mould work to do. I didn't make up nearly enough, and like I said, I had air dry clay. I've recently started using the clay a little bit, simply because I find it easier when working on not such quite flat surfaces. This isn't, but I had completely run out of resin, of course. And then, so you don't get such crisp details, but I kind of wanted this to not be quite so crisp, and I'm going to do some other work and make them look a bit more aged and things as well. But I don't want this gap here. So let me make sure I've got this up the right way. And that goes onto there. Can you see that? You can see it, and you can see it too. Grand. So you can see this is my join line. I'm just going to cut a little bit off of that just to sit up to my mouldings. Excuse me. Still got my tickly cough from my cold the other week, which is very annoying.
So I'm just cutting along that join line so I haven't got to deal with that excess piece. Let's get rid of that. And then, what am I going to use? I've got my pen. Where's there a pen? I had a pen. Right before everything fell over, I had a pen. And now I've lost it. I'm going to use something else instead. Oh, let me show you the handles. Just before we crack on with that, let me show you these handles. Oh, so cool. So, let me find them. That one will go like that. How sweet are these? You see? Aren't they cute? So that's going to be my handles like that. So they're not too intrusive. And obviously you can see where I've gone with the gold. But I'm really, really liking them. And I think I've managed to tie in, because these are a little bit simpler and a little bit mid-century. But I think I've just about got away with the moulds that I've picked to kind of tie them together. What do you think? I think I've managed. And then the other thing that we were going to, which keyhole am I going to use, folks? So I'm going to whack a keyhole up here. Which one shall I use? Which one do you think? I'm going to wait and see. Barb, what do you say? Pretty. You're going to ask me about the handles. I'm all about the handles. Donna, I did paint them. I've got the most awesome spray paint, and it's so easy. It dries dead quick, and it's from Aldi, would you believe? So cool. Vertical. I know they are unusual, aren't they? They're just really cute. But actually, I don't think they'd work. I don't think they'd look quite right horizontal. But you know what? I think they'd go either way. But when I got it, they were that way around. Anyone that follows my page, this is the piece that was going to go in the skip. And it had been used in basically a shed as storage for gardening tools. And it had like secateurs and various garden tool things written on the front of the drawers in big black marker pen. So this is where it's going. It's turning out. Let's have a little look. Ooh, Donna, yeah, cool. I'm just scrolling back up to make sure that I'm in the right. So anyone got any feelings on which keyhole to go for? I'm going to get them up a bit closer to you guys on Facebook. So do we go for a nice horizontal one or a vertical one? What do you think? Instagram? Which one should we go with? I'm wondering whether we go vertical because the handles are vertical. I'm just looking, I've got loads of people joining on Facebook, on Instagram, but I don't think anyone's really, oh my goodness, the people coming on and off on there, right. Yeah, the vertical, like the handles, that's what I'm feeling now. Yeah, okay, grand, let's pop that over there, that'll go in the box of moulds. Okay, so we're back at this. Let's come here, and I am going to end up putting moulds over the top of it, but I think I'm happy to do that now. So I'm just going to cut that piece, and happy days. Oh, you can't see. Let me see if I can move you back a bit. If I move you back, you're going to be at a bit of a funny angle, everybody on Facebook. I do apologise. I have to sort that out for next time around. Could you see that in the background? Look at that. Right, so I'm going to cut that piece off at that where it's marked up at 15 inches. So these guidelines that are printed on sometimes can come in really handy because that just happens to fit really well just there. So we can get that on. And again, I'm going to work at this in sections just to make it easier for me. I've got a little bit that I need to cut out around there. And I'm just sort of guessing there, if I'm honest. That'll do, I think. Just take that whole sort of flower piece out. Just where the mould meets it. So I don't want to be transferring on top of my mould. There we go, that's okay. You're loving this, good. Thank you, Mary. Is it Mary or Mary Ellen? Are you a double barrel? They sound good together. That's why my little girl, she's not got a double-barreled name, but she's Gracie Bell. And my husband said to me at the time, oh, but nobody uses middle names. We use hers all the time because it just sounds so nice together. Okay, so that's gone on quite nicely. So we're just pulling that detail down onto that bottom plinth. And play next piece, which I'm going to have to do in a big section. I'm kind of going to be guessing here. I want to try and maybe use, I'm going to try and sort of use my scissors as a guide, because it doesn't have to be really accurate. I am going to do some aging around it, but I want to get, you know, some of the pieces are further in. So I want to kind of give myself the best chance without screwing up my moulds. Going there. So I'm just feeling my moulds underneath, roughly where they are. And I think what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to treat this in sections. So I am going to cut that into sections. I'm going to roughly trim along that kind of scuffed up scissor edge. You watch this be totally wrong now. Let's see. Do you know what? I'm pretty good with that. I'm okay with that. I can age round it. You know, if I'd have thought ahead a bit more, I wouldn't have stuck my moulds down yet. But I was so keen to have the moulds on to show you what I was doing. I'm having to sort of work with it now. A little bit there that I just needed to trim off. But that's not too bad. I think that sits in there okay. Trace the outline. Do you know what it is, Donna? I've got, these moulds are still soft. So I'm kind of, like I said, normally I plan ahead really, 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 really well. And if I'm honest, I didn't plan ahead, and I probably should have put all of the transfer down and then stuck the moulds down. But I was uber keen to have the moulds on. And I may even still add extra mouldings here too. I just wanted to fill that space because I felt it looked a bit weird, leaving it blank. So my original plan was just to have it on the bottom of the drawer, going up to the top of the drawer. But I just feel going up to those moulds is going to make it look a bit more finished. In this case, still got a bit there. There we go. Oh, missed a bit there. There we go. Oh, saved it. Just. And again here, where I've got right up to that cut edge, I can just grab up any piece of top sheet, and then I don't have to be quite so careful. Oh, do you know what? I'm quite pleased with that. See, there is a way to do things, even when you get the order of things not quite right. Okay. So we've got, like you say, I am kind of tracing, but I'm using the edge of my scissors to do a rough trace. Feel for those pieces, it goes right down here. But yeah, I'm going to do some aging around there anyway.
it, and I am going to fill. I think I am going to fill some of those extra spaces with some more moulds. But let's just keep going as we are for now. Like, I had a resin delivery, literally. Resin delivery about an hour before my live, but I'd already started with the air dry clay, so what I don't really want to do is mix them up. Just gonna, yeah, let's just cut to there. See what we've got left. Yeah, because these ones are all being done with air dry clay, I'll probably do all of the rest in air dry clay as well, because it will be quite obvious the difference between the two, I think. So that's going to fit quite nicely there. I've got a little piece there to just go around. Let's cut you off. So I'm just cutting those pieces out. And let's get that lined up. There we go, nearly got it wrong there. There we go. So yeah, I've gone a bit, I've not gone right up to the mould there, but it's going to be okay. I promise it'll be okay. I'm just going to cut on that curved edge here as well. There we go. So I've just spotted a comment saying you love the piece behind. It's a secret piece. No, it's not really. Donna. Yeah, it's actually, it's couture copper, that one behind, with the CC stencil, one of the CC stencils, which I had to cut up to get into it because I couldn't take the back off because of the way it's constructed. Oh, the things we do. But I just had a vision and it's come together really, really well. So yeah, I'll put some aging stuff. I'm going to add some more moulds to this. Go in with other waxes and things. Yeah, it'll look cool. So that looks, just making it look like it goes up to. Let me just, Facebook, I'm going to bring you back in because I feel like you're missing out a tiny bit. Still are. There we go. So you can see just where it comes up more to the line of the transfer and moulds meet more. Yeah, fancy copper, I know. In fact, what I might do, I'm just going to bring you around here just to do that last piece and then we'll finish up there. So can you see that corner there? Yes, excellent. Could you repeat the transfer name? This one's Life in Full Bloom. It's so pretty. Where's my tube? My tube is over here. There we go, Life in Full Bloom. Okay. So we've just got that little piece left to do. Back that way. Get it the right way up. That will help. Scissors. And can you see how just breaking that up into sections has made it easier to deal with? Like I was saying, I don't need too much over here at all. Ooh, oh, that's handy actually. Okay. If you were using resin for your moulds, you'd be able to push down harder and maybe even cut through.
Yeah, that'll do me. That will do. But like I said, they're still a touch soft. So I don't want to be squishing them too much. But do you know what? Originally I was all about the resin. I quite like the air dry clay to use. It's just a different look. There we go. Right, so we're going to go with this vertical keyhole. I'm not going to stick that on now because I need to fill the back in a bit. It was one of my early mouldings. And we've got these fab handles which I'm just going to place on again. Where was my hole for that one? There it is. There. I feel like it's come together nicely. Like I said, I've got some moulding still to make and build up, but I'm feeling quite happy with this piece. I think it looks lovely. What do you think, guys? Let's bring Facebook back over here because it was a decent angle, wasn't it? I was able to get you closer here. I think you're about here. Oh, I'm struggling with my angles today with all of the stuff. Let's just see. Because I've got to go horizontal for you guys, yeah. Do you know what? You can see enough, can't you there? Brilliant. Anyone on Instagram, what do you guys think? I've not had masses and masses of comments. Lots of people joining on. Because we get some random people join us on Instagram when I seem to do lives. Seems to be the time of the day. So, just as a recap, these are the original handles. That is the one mould that I haven't got out, which I believe is just the one that's called keyholes, which has got several different designs on. Recapping on our other moulds that we've got going on here, I used this one here on the legs, those bits down here. So that's Sorrento Laurels. I didn't use that one in the end because we chose something else. This is the piece that's down on the middle, down here, and that's from Glorious Garland. And then I've used these scrolls, and I'm probably going to make some of these for to fill in some gaps and bits, and that's from Greco. So that's our mouldings, and then we used the Life in Full Bloom transfer. This one comes in those 3 sheets. So I've used the top sheet on our bottom section, the bottom piece on our top section, and then I use a little bit of the extra of the middle sheet to just fill in that gap that we talked about on the bottom. So I hope you've enjoyed today. I've got a couple of extra pieces that I'm going to put on the sides, but obviously where I've got it laid on its back, it needed to stay there for today. But I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you, it's something you've not seen before on this different, this sunset style background that we've got going on. I'm really, really pleased with it. And I will see you again this time next week, my lovelies. Don't forget to drop a hashtag replay in the comments if you're watching on replay. Thanks for joining me, guys. Bye.